Hi, I'm Eric Linter with Starspeak for September 2016. And the ironic thing is, as I'm recording this video, Mercury literally is turning retrograde. So that's one of the big things we'll all contend with during the month of September. Mercury's retrograde for me, I was born that way, so I have a certain mindset about it. I don't see it as necessarily problematic. And folks do love to blame their broken computers and cars and everything else on Mercury, but sometimes there are other factors. On a more positive slant, Mercury retrograde is a fabulous opportunity for rethinking, reviewing, having reunions. It's a time of rediscovery for many people. And my sense is that a great many revelations occur routinely with these retrogrades. Remember, there are usually 3 each year. 18% of the time Mercury is traveling retrograde. So millions of people are born with Mercury retrograde. And this year we actually have 4 because at the very end of the year, the very tail end of December, Mercury will make a 4th retrograde and we'll start 2017 with Mercury retrograde. So this is a great year and a great time to embrace Mercury retrograde. Make friends with that pesky little planet. And again, let your curiosity get the better of you. Adding to our potential confusion, we are in the middle of eclipse season. And September begins with a new moon. And on the 1st, it's also a solar eclipse at 9 degrees of Virgo. And the sun and moon join together at the new moon. They're in an opposition to Neptune, squared by Saturn. The climate of confusion, fear, apprehension, sense of foreboding, it's all tied in with this continuing square between Saturn and Neptune, and again, energized, amplified by this new moon eclipse. With eclipses, we typically have information come to light. Plans don't necessarily go the way we think they will, and we still have the potential for revelation or some other kind of profound inner awareness. So every eclipse represents a very tight alignment between the sun, the moon, and the earth. And for folks who meditate and practice any kind of spiritual discipline, it's a great opportunity for attunement with the sun representing spirit, the earth, the physical body, and the moon, the emotional body. On the 1st, we have the sun in an exact square with Saturn. On the 2nd, Friday, we see the sun in an exact opposition with Neptune. Sort of a counterbalance is that Mercury on the 2nd is in an exact conjunction with Jupiter, which is really fabulous for promoting optimism, thinking big, seeing possibilities. And that's another big occasion that we have to look forward to this month. On Friday the 9th, Jupiter will complete a 13-month stay in Virgo and move on into Libra, which is a very good piece of news for people born under Libra, as well as Gemini and Aquarius, the other air signs. There's a new and emerging focus on fair play, harmony, balance for some people in their lives, creating more beauty, peace, love, understanding, all those kind of good things as we see Jupiter blessing the sign of Libra. Some other things of note. The Labor Day weekend, aside from the difficulties getting on the road with that T-square energy, it's a pretty mellow weekend. When we look at this return to school and work, again, there are supportive trends on Tuesday the 6th. There's a fabulous trine that night between the Sun and Pluto, which is really good for figuring out everything from your bills to your time, schedule, where to place your energy, solve problems. Venus is also in a sextile to Saturn on Wednesday the 7th, and this helps build strong ties, and whether they're existing or meeting new people, there's long-term potential, and it's a really good day for getting together with like-minded people and making plans. We have a first quarter moon the same day Jupiter goes into Libra, Friday the 7th. This is a time where some of our commitments may come into question, but it's also important to really commit more deeply to the things we're passionate about. And that's a day where the influences are mixed, so we will face some adversity, but again, intention is everything in my book. We really need to think about how to succeed. And in spite of difficulties, patience, persistence, and sometimes consulting with people who are smarter or more aware, have knowledge we need to gain. Asking for help is certainly important. Now, doing that is perhaps more challenging than usual at this time because on the 10th, we have the third and final square between Saturn and Neptune. And they will gradually, Saturn being the faster moving planet, begin to separate. But this energy, this confusion, paranoia, shame, guilt, not knowing really how to sort of free yourself from the various emotional entrapments that we all occasionally slip into, it's going to be with us most of the fall and really won't start to let up until after the election in early November, which is too bad. This is, again, kind of the perfect storm for an election year because the news media, the politicians, the stories they tell, they're really largely just stories, and ferreting out the truth remains very difficult. Over the weekend, then, as we get a little deeper into it, we see a square between Venus and Pluto early Sunday morning. This can arouse jealousy. Love tends to come with strings attached when these two planets are at odds. And so here again, be sensitive to your partners. Try and anticipate their expectations and needs without being overly codependent. You may need to stick up for yourself and, if necessary, get yourself out of a difficult relationship situation. If you do, Sunday night will be a time of validation and vindication. Now, Monday the 12th is another day with very mixed trends. Mercury is at odds with Mars. The Sun is conjunct that retrograde of Mercury. So here we may need to revisit tactics and strategies and make some different and new plans. Again, this is a continuing theme because the following day the Sun is in an exact square with Mars. That's Tuesday afternoon on the 13th. Haste makes waste. And we do need to, again, rethink, if we say something, if we do something, is it likely to get the result we want it to? On the 14th, we've got mellower trends. The moon is waxing full at this stage of the month, and so there's a big kind of push to achieve and accomplish. But again, the full moon will bring a lunar eclipse, and the old saying, the best laid plans of mice and men do sometimes go awry. That's often true around an eclipse. So if you are on the verge of some kind of breakthrough or an important decision, keep in mind that circumstances are in flux and likely to change. So that'll do it for this first half of September. It's a very busy and eventful month. I want to thank you for sharing this time with me today. And if you want to contact me, send me an email at stars@ericlinter.com. Look for my daily forecasts online at the spiritofchange.org website. And remember, keep looking up.